Hi there, I'm the Divine Miss Mikki. Hopefully this will be a short one, but I just had the urge to get this one out. It's a video I've been wanting to make for a while, and this is how do you tell the difference between intuition and fear and anxiety, because they are actually very, very different. But how do we know? How do you tell the difference? Well, it's quite simple. And it's basically with intuition. Well, first we'll start with I'm just stretching my legs out a bit. We'll start with your fear and your anxiety. Imagine how you feel. Just think of it right now. Think of the feeling you get when, say, you're looking over a cliff. You might have safety rail and everything there, but you're looking over and it's a long way down. What's that fear feeling you get? That, oh my God, if this railing gives way, I'm gone. That fear, that anxiety. You have a physical reaction to that. So it's important to be in touch with that feeling, because that's important to help you know the difference. With intuition, they call it gut feeling for a reason, because you kind of get... Now, it all depends on whether it's an intuition about something good or something to be careful of, which is, again, distinct from fear. So, let's go with, first off, a good intuition. Intuition about something good, about something positive. So, you go, wow, that looks, okay, it's a workshop, or it's going to a dinner with people, or going to see friends. But you get a really good feeling. It's like you get this nice, it's like a good feeling in your gut. It's like you feel that compulsion forward. And you it's kind of like the warm fuzzies, but it's not on a 3D level. It's on a higher level, which is hard to explain if you haven't felt that higher level. And I can tell you, every one of you have felt it. But are you all aware of it? That's the difference, being aware. So, in order to know the difference, you have to be aware of your body, of your feelings. And you have to know that feeling of fear. You have to know the feeling of feeling good. And then there's I get a bit uncomfortable sometimes. There's that feeling good on a, this is a good, this is cool, I'm having a good time. It's all right. And then there's, oh wow, this feels really good, I can't explain it, but something is telling me that this is good, that this is taking me somewhere, or I'm going to really love going to that place. There's a difference in the feeling. And really the only way you're going to know about it is be aware of your body, be aware of the feelings you have, and take it from there. Now comes to the warning intuition, as distinct from fear and anxiety. So, as I described, the looking over a railing down a cliff, or you're on a high building looking down. I've seen it. I'm not sure if I could do it, but I think it's over the Grand Canyon. They've got that, and I think there's in another country, but it's this glass walkway over a canyon, and it's a long way down. And you're walking out, and it's like you're walking on air. I mean, we know that there's a solid structure, and you have to put faith in it. But the fear can override that because of, particularly if you have a fear of heights. And you just go, oh, wow. Oh, that's a long way down. Oh. That's fear. That's anxiety. You can see there's things there. Go around. Oh, because she's there. You still can do it. Go on. No. Okay. So, you've got that fear that you get. Pardon me, I've just got to move some stuff because he doesn't want to go the other way. Go on, quick. Keep going. No, you're not going on my lap. Thank you. So, if I had a bigger house, they might have another place to go. Oh, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to get my train of thought back. Okay, so we have the fear, the physical feeling of fear and anxiety. And I'll tell you a story because I think it's actually very relevant in the intuition, warning and fear. Many, many years ago, I lived in a part of Sydney that was not the safest place to live at that time. And I was coming back from the theatre. I was in the theatre in Sydney for a number of years, and I had in a basket 2 3-week-old kittens that I was hand raising, and I'd caught a taxi home because it was late at night and it was, to me, the safest thing to do. Now, I lived in what we call a duplex, which is you've got one house that's broken up into two. One side is one house, one side's the other, and there's just a common wall. I'm not sure what it's called in other countries, but in Australia we call it a duplex. And so I was on one side. The other side was empty. No one had moved in at that stage. There was a laneway, and there was another duplex with the one that was closest to me was also empty, and there were people in the one before, the one on the other side. So I really didn't have neighbours either side, and there was a laneway. And as the taxi was coming up, I saw this man walking up the street, and I immediately had a panic reaction. Immediately knew that there was something wrong about this man. I knew it. But I panicked. I didn't get my keys out ready, and the door was actually at the side of the house. So I didn't have my keys out, and I didn't ask the taxi driver to wait till I got inside. I just wanted to get it out and get in the house. And just as I put the key in the lock, the man came down. He was trying to find a very polite way to say that he was working on himself. Trying to be polite here. And he kept saying, I want to make love to you now. And I'm going, well, I don't want to make love to you. I was furious. Luckily, he was short and I was on a step, so I was actually a little bit higher than him, little 5 foot me. But I got angry because how dare he do this on my house in front of my baby kittens? Seriously, that's what I was thinking. And how dare he? But I also had the presence of thought to pull the key out of the lock rather than leave it in there. And, just for probably a minute, maybe just over, he was sort of, I want to make love. And I said, I am not that desperate. Now get out. And I sort of stood over, raised myself up, get out like this. And then he made a grab for my crutch area and I just whacked his arm out of the way and screamed. Now, I'd just been practicing, rehearsing at the theatre, so my voice was rather full-on projection mode, and he took off. I don't even think he had time to put himself away. He just took off over the fence, ran off, and I got inside. I put the kittens inside, checked they were okay. They didn't have a clue what was going on. But, shock does things. And my phone hadn't been connected at that time. I hadn't been in there long. And my flatmate hadn't moved in. So I found one of those old combs, the metal combs. I think these might still be used in hairdressers. But it was a metal comb with a very sharp point. And I got that and my keys. And I checked outside the door. Couldn't see him. I had my keys. So I locked the door behind me and I'm checking. And then I went to the fence, checking. And then I went to where I knew there were people. And I knocked on their door. And I said, can I use your phone? I need to call the police. I've just been attacked. They said, was that you screaming? I said, yeah. They said, we thought it was the TV. It was that loud. Got onto the policewoman and I told her what I'd said. And she said, geez, you're brave. I said, I don't feel brave now. And so the police officers came round. And I'm giving you the whole story because actually there's some funny bits. I watched them pull up, so I ran out to the front gate. And they said, I told them what happened. And they said, can you give a description? And I went, yeah, he was about your height. And he had a white shirt on, like you. And dark trousers, like you. And dark hair, like you. I'm looking at a police officer this whole time's going, like you, like you. And then I said, have you had that before about this guy? And he said, yeah, I get it all the time. But I remembered that feeling. They did catch him. I didn't have to testify because I wasn't hurt. When I saw all the charges against him, 2.5 pages of charges. I was lucky. I was really lucky, really looked after. And that Irish temper, because I'm a quarter Irish, maybe it was Irish and Scottish, because quarter Irish, quarter Scottish in me, so maybe the temper came up. And the indignity of how dare you do this in front of my babies. But yes, I don't know what happened. I let it go from that. I didn't need to. I knew he'd been caught. But the purpose of this story is that I felt the intuition. I felt it. And when you have that sort of feeling, you know the difference between your fear, anxiety base and your intuitive warning. I was being given an intuitive warning. At that stage, I really did not know much about intuition. I did not know much about mediumship or psychic. I had an interest, and there were times I knew things. I don't know why or how I knew them. I just knew them. And but I didn't understand. I didn't understand any of it. But I remembered that feeling. It's an intensity. It is not just fear and anxiety. It's something that just feels much higher, and it's kind of like voices and feelings and sensations that is saying, beware, danger, Will Robinson, that sort of. Okay, that's going back a long way to my childhood. Lost in Space, used to watch it. Oh yeah, they did make a remake, so. But anyway, yeah, so I wanted to actually talk about the difference between the two. That intuition, it's got a. I thought it'd be much easier to explain this, but now that I'm actually doing it, it's like, it's bloody hard. It's really hard to distinguish between the 3D physical level and those physical feelings you get and a higher consciousness feeling that has a physical effect, but it's very, very different. It's a strong feeling. It's actually like, it's kind of your gut, but your higher levels that in unison are giving the message. And that's the same with good things as well. When you've got that good feeling about something, you can't always explain why, because there's no outward reason for the why. You just feel it. You feel it so strong. It's not just, oh, well, that would be really cool to go to. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. Oh, that looks like a pretty good movie. No, it's more than that. It's almost to the point of being overwhelming. But again, it's the type of thing that you may not be aware of if you're not fully in tune with your body. And the more in tune with your body you are, and the feelings you get, the more you open up your psychic energy, the more that you can actually work with your intuition and trust. Again, that's a biggie. Intuition. You can have all the intuition in the world, but if you don't trust it, it's kind of like, I'm giving you this message, and you're going, yeah, but I'm not sure it's real or not. It's like when I started getting a lot more of the clairaudience and these voices, and boy, did I put them to the test. There were times I really put my guides to the test. And probably the one that I remember the most is, I won't go into all that preceded and came after, but I'd been told something like, wow. I'd gone, what am I meant to do with this? And so I went into denial. No. You got to prove that this is real. That you've got to prove to me that I'm really getting messages through. And there was something on the news, and it was about Native American monument was going to be opened. And just straight off I said, crazy horse. And they went, what are you talking about? Why would they be doing? Why? Wouldn't it be something like Sitting Bull or Chief Joseph or, Geronimo or, something else? I wasn't really very aware at that time. But I let myself doubt. I discounted it. I went with my initial feeling and then threw it away. They come back from the ad break, crazy horse. And I was like, oh, okay. But maybe it was just a lucky guess. I know. I really put them through the ringer until finally it was like, yeah, okay. Now I've got to figure out what to do with the messages you've just given me. Thank you. So, and that is very much something that happens when we start to open up and we question and we question and we question and we question. And that's like the same with getting in touch with your body and learning the difference between normal emotional feelings and intuition. And the more aware we are, the more we feel it. But sometimes the more we can question it. There's no easy way of learning this except to be aware. And the more you experience things, and the more aware you are, and the more you listen to that intuition, the more you know the difference. Just be open to it. And trust. And you're not always going to get it right. You've got to be prepared to make mistakes. That's life. That's life. We make mistakes. And then you move forward, learning and growing. I can see you, Leo. You leave her alone. She's down here, and he likes to get up here and look down and intimidate her off the lounge. And she's totally ignoring him. So, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want this to be as long as the last one I did, and I've still got to load these up. And I've got a lot to do tomorrow. So, maybe I'll get it one loaded tonight, and then I'll do the other one tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you like this, please like, share, subscribe. I'd love to know your stories on your finding your intuition and your own battle, so to speak, with self-doubt. That's a biggie. And some of you may still be there, and some of you have moved past it. And it's a good way when we share our stories. We all can grow, because there'll be one thing that you say that someone will go, oh, that's what I needed to know. I needed to know that. And that's where the beauty of sharing videos comes as well. So on that note, I'm going to bid you all adieu and get these loaded up, or at least one of them, and I shall see you again. And hopefully my energy levels will keep up, and yeah, the breathing will keep going good. I've been black seed oil and honey I have that every day, and it's really helped my breathing. So, natural does work. Okay, so on that note, bye for now. Bye.